Hi, I'm Denise. Welcome to Foursquare Microfarm. I just want to talk to you today about my five favorite fibers list. As a spinner, I've been approaching my spinning pretty methodically. If you watch any of my videos, you know that I approach everything pretty much like that. And I've been working with as many breeds as I possibly can. And there's about 200 odd wool breeds just there, and then the cottons and the llamas and all those kind of things. So I've been working through as many fibers as I possibly can as I work through my spinning techniques, and I find that there are 5 or really 6 particular fibers that I really enjoy working with. And I go back to those fibers all the time when I work on different projects. And so my fabulous or favorite fiber list is alpaca, Angora rabbit, Jacob and Finn, which is really 2, but I'll explain to you why I put the 2 of those together, Teeswater, and silk. And those are the 5/6 fibers that I use all the time to make projects. Okay, this particular episode is going to be about Teeswater, and it's in no particular order. I kind of like them all equally. Teeswater is just such a wonderful fiber for me. Who can resist these curly locks? And this video is not about lock spinning. And it kind of worked backwards, where I already did the videos for the prep and the spinning first. And so at the beginning of this video, you get to see the finished product of the tail spinning or lock spinning here. And so I'll let you watch the rest of the video as I go into a little bit about Teeswater and why I like it so much. Then at the end, I have a little bonus for making a little pouch for a cell phone holder. Thanks for watching. On my Fab 5 list today is Teeswater. Teeswater is a long wool breed, one of the curly ones. Usually for the Teeswater fleece, you can get anywhere from 7 to 15 pounds of yield of raw fleece, and it's between 30 to 36 micron count, depending on your source for micron count, and between 6 to 12 inches long, depending on your lock. I like the Teeswater. I like all the long wools, and I really like the curly ones, but I like the Teeswater the most because it tends to have a more corkscrew curly structure, as opposed to one of my other favorites, the Leicester long wool, which is more of a crimped, and it's also one of the softer long wools. Lincoln has that wonderful curl too, but for me it tends to be scratchy. The Lincoln and Gotland tend to be scratchy, and that's why the Teeswater goes on the Fab 5 list, and the Leicester long wool, which I also adore, and the Lincoln aren't on the top part of that Fab 5 list. So I also want to mention that Thin Sheep is also a long wool, but because of the crimp structure, I usually clump it with Jacob. So when I talk about Jacob, my Fab 5 list, I'm going to stick Finn with the Jacob instead of with the Teeswater, just because of the structure of the fiber. Okay, so these lovely locks came from my friend Deborah and her sheep Tiger Lily. Tiger Lily is a beautiful Teeswater sheep, and I was just very blessed to get these locks. I dyed them the blue and the emerald because it was just 2 of the colors I had on hand that I thought went well together. I had asked some friends too. The royal blue is just awesome, and this is what I use for dyes. And I don't have any particular affiliation or affinity for this particular brand. It's just the first brand that I kind of fell on, after doing the colite dye and the food dye, and it does what I need to do. There are some colors I like more than others. Generally, I don't like this emerald green because it doesn't really dye a really strong color. It tends to come out kind of like a sap green if you paint. You're familiar with that. But just because Teeswater is what it is, and the awesome way that the long wools take up dye, this turned out magnificent. Now, basically, I'm going to core spin this, so it looks a lot like this batch of Teeswater that I did a couple weeks ago, and which is going to be paired with this merino as the warp for another shawlette. Same thing for this Teeswater. And I have a mohair core that I'm going to use. I got this mohair yarn last year from a teacher friend. This yarn's got to be pretty old. The label looked like it was in the 70s or something like that. And this is just a good way to use this up. As much as I like mohair, it tends to make me itch, so I really don't wear it on its own. So this will be a perfect way to use up this core, and especially as a background for this green, so whatever peeks through it won't be a big problem. And I haven't spun a warp for it yet. Get there eventually when I decide what I'm going to do with this after I see what kind of yardage I'm going to get. Okay, here we go. Just going to turn it a little bit. Just split these guys. Go ahead and let them wrap on. This is a very labor-intensive process. Well, it takes a bit. You can see why these yarns would be a little expensive. Okay, there we go. I'll show you what the skein looks like when I'm done. Okay, now, just really briefly about the pouch. Made a cell phone pouch for my phones. And actually, I can fit both of them in there, because a lot of times you put the cell phone in your purse, and unless you've got like a little special pouch for the purse, I mean, the thing just slides all over the place. And then two, this is really great when I put the straps on it, so I can just kind of grab this out and go. I don't have to have my whole purse. It doesn't have to be in my pocket when I go to rabbit shows and dog shows and stuff like that. So basically what I did is I traced the largest cell phone, and I put the scrap pieces together. It takes, you know, half of a fat quarter or less. Now there's two ways to do this. You can trace this as one very long piece and then fold it up from there. And if you do that, it's going to be 13.5 inches long, and it'll save you a bottom hem. But I'm going to describe it to you as if I cut all the different pieces, which is what I did. I didn't think about that till I got to the end. All right, now, these pieces are 4¼ inches wide. The back piece, if you don't make one long continuous piece, is 8 inches long. The front piece is 5½ inches long, and it's made to fold over for the closure. And then there's a little front pouch I made for extras. And the front pouch is also 4¼ inches wide and 4 3/4 inches. And I'll explain that to you. Okay, so the best thing to do is to make two pieces for two fabrics. You can make two different fabrics if you want to be really cool. And then cut a piece for the interfacing. Same here, two different fabric pieces or two fabric pieces, and then a piece for the interfacing. And then on the little pocket piece, I only cut one piece of fabric and one piece of interfacing. Now for the little pocket piece, what I did is I took 1 inch and 1/4 of that, and I folded it inside, and I attached it to the interfacing, so I didn't need 2 pieces, and then you won't see a rough edge across the top. So that's nice and well hidden inside there. For these pieces right here, you would put the 2 sides with the right faces facing together, the interfacing on the other side, stitch those down the sides, and then fold them inside out. So you'll have the 2 clean pieces. Same thing here, put the 2 right sides together, the interfacing on one of the wrong sides, stitch them together, fold them inside out. Now for this pocket, excuse me, I laid the pocket down just as you see it here. The wrong side and the right side together sitting right on top of it in the position that I want it to be in. And then I turned the front piece right side and the back piece right sides together, stitched all around them, and that enclosed the pocket in the side seams. And then I pushed it inside out, and this is how it looked. So that completes that right there. I used for the front and back it was a heavy fusible interfacing, made it really stiff, so I had to use a ruler to push it inside out. For the front pocket, however, I just used a piece of craft felt I had left over. Makes it really flexible, and that was much easier. So I'm thinking the next one I make, I might go ahead and use a felt for the entire thing and see if I like the feel of it. But this is nice and sturdy and stiff like this, so I'll decide whenever I get a chance to. Okay, so you can see the phone fits actually in this pocket just as well as it fits on the inside. And then this flap folds over, and I'm looking for just the right button. I'm looking for little doggy buttons to put the button possibly here and then attach with a string, or you could use Velcro or snaps. And then as soon as I find my eyelet puncher, I'm going to punch the holes in here to make straps so I can carry this across my body if I need to pull it out and I don't have any pockets, which a lot of times I wear skirts and I don't have any pockets. Okay, so that's the cute cell phone holder. It's going to be really nice because now I can make all sorts of really different fabrics to match everything, and it hardly costs anything to make. All right, thanks everybody. Have a great day. And you can join me at Foursquare Microfarm on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, and on my blog, Foursquare Microfarm at blogspot.com. Thanks a lot.